If the idea of owning a house in Italy has always fascinated you, know that you are not alone. Many of us know a friend or relative who has decided to revolutionize their lives by moving to the Bel Paese. The reasons why someone choosing to come to Italy are varied. Partly because this country is not among the most stable in Europe, with significant issues in the citizen service sector and a public debt approaching 3 trillion euros. The factor is that, despite the significant problems, many people consider moving to Italy as a positive factor in their lives, and sometimes owning an Italian property become a real dream. I can mention various examples of people buying in the Abruzzo and Molise regions, where I currently reside. From a 60-year-old English lady who booked a house in an Abruzzo historic center to live in a climate she deems more suitable, to a German couple in their 50s who currently work and use the Italian house as a holiday residence. And finally, a young American family with a newborn who decided to live their lives 20 minutes from the Adriatic Sea. Being remote workers, they can afford to do so. Then there are people with more personal motivation from their home country, such as those living in England because they find the country unlivable after the Brexit, or those living the United States because they can't stand sending their child to a school where there is a constant risk of shootings. I mentioned these two examples because they were shared with me by two respective foreigners and made me reflect. A common factor in moving to Italy, which I have found in 99.9% of cases, is the possibility of assessing the purchase of a house without having a large capital, and often this factor is crucial. Forget about big cities like Rome and Florence, which are beautiful to visit but less so to live in. Property prices here have been increasing for years, and for a 50 square meter apartment you could spend 300,000 euro, or even the double of that. Regions like Tuscany or Umbria have become a treasure trove for foreigners looking to buy properties, and by now, except for some exceptions, it's challenging to find a good deal. So if wanting a good deal means buying a house below its actual value, and the value can be determined, as in the majority of cases, by the location, then regions like Abruzzo, Molise and Marche are golden opportunities. Actually, I am in the village of Doola, a small town located in the inland area of Vasto on the border with the Molise region. This village is 20 minutes away from the Adriatic Sea and a 2-hour drive from Fiumicino airport in Rome. Simply walking through the village you can encounter one of its 300 inhabitants who can point out houses for sale. In a small village everyone knows each other. Just on the street where I live there are at least 20 houses for sale. And what is the price? Prices vary widely, from someone selling a house for 5,000 euro in the historic part of the village to someone selling a farmhouse for 30,000 euro with a land and olive trees with a sea view. In both cases the houses need restoration, but here too there are significant variation, since some of these houses require minimal work, and sometimes just changing the windows or redoing the floor is enough. Other times the work to be done is more complex, but if you rely on a professional to manage the restoration work, it's worth it. Let me give you an example of a house booked last year by an American. The house had been for sale for a year, the lady living in it had died, and her daughters were asking for 30,000 euro. The house was purchased for 24,000 euro and needed no work, also because it had been restored in previous years. It always depends on the budget one has and what use they want to make of the house. One thing I'm sure of the area where I'm recording this video, it's like Tuscany 40 years ago. Those who booked a house in this region between the 80s and 90s had a significant value growth of their property over the time. So what is the best strategy to buy a house at a very low price, like the house for 5,000 euro that I mentioned earlier? Espresso coffee with this view? What else? I interrupt you a few seconds from the video you are watching, not to talk to you about coffee, but about the country where you can drink a good one. Italy. So if you want to discover the advantages of living the Dolce Vita in the Bel Paese, understand the process of buying a house in Italy, you should consider buying this video we wrote, available on Amazon in the link in the description. Many people decided that 2024 will be the year of their change. Will you be one of them? Firstly, physically visiting the place is crucial. Take a few weeks and come to discover the villages and locations of these regions. Second, talk to the locals, speak to the elderly and clearly state your intentions without wasting time in vague conversations. Third, and the most importantly, have self-control. Don't judge a house by appearance. If you want to spend a little money, don't expect a luxury residence, but try to imagine the potential that a house can have. If you are interested in a property and want to buy it, but you are not convinced by its current condition, consult with a restorer, someone who can give you a professional opinion on the place. If this video has interested you, let me know in the comment below, and if you want more information, contact me at the email babiloniaconsultancy@outlook.com. See you soon!